All right, welcome to National Crime Victims' Rights Week, third day of the week. We have a bunch of different exercises today. We have a guest speaker. But before we get into that, I'm going to have Mr. Kevin Fernandez come up here with our moment of silence.
Good afternoon, you guys. Just a reminder to those who've been here the last couple of days, and for those, if today's the first day, the reason why we do the moment of silence is to give thought to all the victims, people's lives that have been impacted due to crime and violence. So within the next few moments, just think about those people and think about all the pain and harm that they're going through. Right now, can I please have everyone stand up? All right, thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Kevin. So the Heartstone. The Heartstone's been getting passed around all week. And before I pass it on, I just want to remind everybody, people that weren't here yesterday, this stone was found on a yard in 2013. And it didn't have the shape it has today, the heart. But when the stone was found, it was shaped by being grinded on the cement out on the yard by more than one person. And once the shape started to shape into the heart, in the substance abuse program, we passed it around from group to group, and each man had the opportunity to hold in his hand, say a prayer, a moment of silence with it, and each person sanded away and polished it out so that it would look nice, it would look presentable, it would have some meaning, it would have some thought, some spirituality into it. We carved the 2013 in there because that was the first year we had National Crime Victims' Rights Week here on this facility on North Yard. And each year we pass it along and ask that, you put your prayer into it, your time, your thoughts, and remember those people that are continuously victimized and survivors. And after you have it for a little bit, you can just go ahead and pass it along. Eventually, what we want to do is send the stone, the Heartstone, outside of this institution and donate it to somebody doing this type of work out in the community. Thank you. All right, so move on to our next exercise. It's only appropriate that I ask Johnny to come up here, Johnny Martinez, to introduce our guest.
All right, good afternoon, community. All right, so real quick, this is Ruben, that's his name, Ruben Morphine, and he was murdered when I was a teenager. And I remember when he was murdered, it sent a shockwave in our community that's rippled to this day, and it hasn't stopped. I remember he was one of the first murders that occurred in Salinas that really had like a really devastating effect on our families and our community in the east side. And it's just gotten horrible, and I was looking at it and I was just struck by his face. There's quite a few other faces on there that I know. But I just want to say thank you to Debbie for coming, and it's been a long time, and we're very appreciative to have you here. So without further ado, I want to introduce Debbie Aguilar.
You're from Salinas, huh? Okay, well, thank you, Johnny, and everyone for showing up again. I don't know if some of you were here earlier. Do I see any familiar faces? Yeah, okay. The song, the artists are here. Yeah, that was flowing. Wow, it's a blessing. The family could only know that. Maybe they do already. Maybe I'll get a chance to let them know. There's a beautiful song out there for Mr. Mendoza. My name's Debbie Aguilar, and I am from Salinas. I've been raised there all my life. I was born there and raised there. You know, got married, had children, and probably didn't have too different maybe all of us walked different paths, but I had my journey. I say my journey because it is a journey, and I'm still trying to figure it out. As I was talking to one of my bodyguards, I don't know where he's at, one of the officers. This journey has been a heck of a journey. It really has been. I mean, not just because I'm here and looked at maybe to some of you, it may be, but that's not who I am. I'm Deborah with the H, Uborah, Aguilar, and some people will look at me as a mother of a murdered child, which, yes, I'm a mother of a murdered child, but I have other living children. My son is Stephen Joseph Aguilar, and that's him, right behind me. Him in the center, right under loved. That's one of the very few pictures I have. I don't have too many pictures of my son, and he was 2 years younger than when it happened. When it happened, the awful thing that happened was my son became a victim of senseless gang violence in Salinas on November 16th, 2002. Was the very, very beginning of the 16th. It was after midnight, and he got the snack attack, or whatever other people may call it, munchies, you know. He was doing his stereos, his turntables. He had that, very proud of it. He was home a lot. I remember complaining a lot about that noise because, you know, he really would get down, and that music was, I didn't understand it. He called it house music or techno or some weird stuff. But it was noisy. I sure do miss that noise. If I could only hear that noise again. It seems like everything went quiet the night someone took his life. Stephen and his friend, my mijo, left for some snacks, only about a block or two away from our house. And we live in the North Salinas, right around the block, off of North Main Street. If anyone here is familiar with Salinas, like the other group was earlier, there was a few hands raised. You might know of the street off North Main, runs parallel with North Main, but behind, you know, the fast food areas, North First. Does anybody know that street? There's a big dip. Okay, we got one guy over there. Okay, Johnny knows, yeah. And then it has a big old dip. So Stephen was, after he got his snacks, my mijo loves snacks. He loves Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And they bought it, to be exact, according to the witness that was the survivor of this awful act that someone played out that changed our lives forever and many others. He's going home, and the house is just down the block, and somebody, his friend in the next seat, Armando, said, you know, it looks like someone's following us, and my son's like, hey, you're tripping, dude, and just stuff in his mouth and driving, going home, get back to that turntable. And when we got to that dip, that famous big dip, that car that was following picked up speed and opened fire on my son. Don't know what side. I could just imagine. I'm just picturing in my mind I doubt if it was a driver, because you have to be a really good shot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they do it. Maybe people do drive by themselves and shoot, but I'm thinking somebody out the window in the back went, shh. They just came up alongside of him As he was trying to get, slow down, they came up and they opened fire and chased him and I guess I loaded a gun on him, and there was all kinds of gunshots, bullets, casings all over the neighborhood. One hit him in the back of his head. It was a 9mm. I found that out later in my journey. Because at that time, everybody, you got all these, it's a nightmare that you want to wake up from. You don't even want to take pills because you think you're in a nightmare. You want to wake up. They try to give me all that. And I said, I'm in a dream. I want to wake up from this thing. He hit a big tow truck. It was sitting on the corner on North First Street and the corner of Crescent Avenue. And this big tow truck was there having his meal because he's a 24-hour tow truck. So he parks it on the side, and my son plows into that big tow truck. He's hit. He's already hit. And he just plows into it. And that little car that we bought him for his graduation day, which was just a few months before, he just turned 18. He's leaving Salinas. I'm leaving this crazy town, Mom, he said. And he told us, and I said, okay, that's what you have to do, because everyone's dying too much. It's crazy here. Got him the car. He hit that, and it just split right in two. That's what I'm told. I find all this stuff out later because after I got a little better, started getting out of the fog, because I'm in a fog. That's what it feels like. You're in a fog. From the moment, his soul left right there. So right there on that tree, I have this same picture. Some neighbor was so nice and says, I see her all the time putting up a new poster for him. It's just one of these 8x10s and his face on it, black and white. Offer a reward. If anybody knows who did this to my son, I used to pass them out all over Salinas. Go all over the Barrios and all the high schools. When the kids would leave in their cars, passing them out. Can you please help me, please? I don't want them to forget. I was a loner out there by myself, feeling all alone. I wasn't alone. I had God, and people would start telling me, why are you doing that? It's dangerous. I go, no, people are nice. They're letting me. The store, 7-Eleven, let me keep it up there for years. I felt bad. I used to beg them, can I see the footage? Can I see my son again? Your footage, sorry, the police have it. The investigators, well, you must have a copy. I want to see my son in his last minutes that he was alive. He couldn't help me. I just wanted to see him his last minutes while he was buying his food and shopping around in the store. I even wanted to see if I would see, do you have any video of the car? I was doing the investigator job, a mama thing, my thing. I don't know if other mothers do that, but let me tell you, I was ready. I was really hurting. I was mad. I was mad. I was really mad. I'm not, I could get mad. I used to get violent when I drank. I was mad. Now my son was gone. I really wanted to hurt somebody. I really did. Right after the day when I found out, the nightmare started, when people were, the phone was ringing, and finally, when someone told me, is it true? What? Stephan was shot? Like, what the heck are you talking about? This is not a funny joke. What do you mean he was shot? I have the phone. I didn't know. It was the next day. I wasn't there when it happened. Me and his dad were gone. And it all unfolded. I won't go through all the details because it does take a while, my story. Some of you here, I think I may have heard it in another part of this prison. But, it's like somebody just took when I found out that when that phone, that guy on the other end of the line told me that, it just felt like something that, inside of me was just taken out of me. It was like somebody just got, I've been hit before. I've been hit very hard. I've had cracked ribs, things like that. But it's like there was a pain that nobody had ever, a pain that I never felt in my life. It took everything, it's like a hole. It was really, it was bad. Couldn't breathe, I fell. When my husband drove up in the car, I told him. When he was sent to the coroner's office, because we didn't know, we just heard on the phone, and he came back. Like, oh God, I'm pleading with the Lord. And I said, man, was this for real? Is this really part of why? Is it supposed to be this way? came into the house of the Lord a few weeks ago. I surrendered all. I got my white handkerchief. Forgive, I surrender. Take this away from me, all this stuff. Because of him. He helped me get there, my boy. He spoke to me. He said, Mom, I love you, and I know you can do it just one day at a time, like you guys are doing, one day at a time. One day at a time. You're going to feel good. Go back to church. I did go. I thank him for those words. I thank the Lord that the Lord used him to tell me this when I hit the bottom. I said, God, are you serious? You are serious. It can't be him, please. It's a mistake. It's another guy. He's somewhere else. He's out of town, Oakland, somewhere. I don't know where he went because he used to go to concerts a lot and things like that. While my husband was going to the corners, I said, no, this is not good. I started to drink. I fell. I started drinking. I was drinking. I was already drinking. And I was sober for a few weeks. And, I came back and he gives me the look, my husband, and he just gets out the car and comes to me and I'm like, well, and he goes, it's him, that nod. It's him. And I have that Zinfandel in my hand because I'm trying to numb the best way I could because it's not real, and I'm like this. And I just went to him and we fell. I fell. I just lost everything. Everything that was in me was taken. Any strength that was in me was taken. Taken. I just fell. I could not walk. I kid you not. I crawled. After me, my husband cried. I know I did cry, and I was holding on to his knees because I couldn't get up. So I crawled on the pavement from the driveway into the house. That was a pretty long way. No, Lord. No. And I just dragged. It seemed like it took a long time to get to his room, but I got there. I never walked. I just stayed there in his bed, and it was just, I don't know, clutched his blanket. That explains now why everything was, the blinds were closed, the lamp was on, because he was gone. He left in the night. This was the next day around this time. And the rest was a fog. I remember everything. There's a lot more. I wanted to die. I wanted to skip it all. Then I took a pill. My neighbor she worked at Memorial Hospital, gave me a pill, got me all high, numbed with Zinfandel. That didn't help me. I ended up in the Natividad because they said I was going into shock, and I guess I was. But I didn't feel like I was going into shock. I just was plotting in my mind. I wanted revenge. I wanted revenge. I didn't know anybody else in my whole life, anywhere that I heard of that went through this, but I wanted revenge. Because somebody stepped on my side, in my space, in my family space. I don't know what they were thinking, my husband and them. They were plotting too. But I was by myself. Oh, I was so mad. I was mad. I plotted I was going to hurt somebody. I was plotting. Very evil, but I was doing it. That's my baby. That was my boy that someone took, and I never will know who did it. And they used to fuel my energy. Get out there. Go find that killer. Go find who that is. I'd be looking into the news all the time, seeing of who, hoping that's the one, maybe this guy. Because shootings kept happening, killings kept happening. That year in 2002, we had 27, because I counted yesterday. I have a list. Too many to take to Sacramento tomorrow, which we're going to the Capitol tomorrow. It's Victims' Rights Week. But we have like 2015, 16, and 17. Right now we're at 14 murders. In Salinas. That's not the county, in Salinas. So I got some new families coming tomorrow. But you know what God gave me was a special boy. He considers me special too. Just as you are. We're all born and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't get to choose our blueprint of our life or what. I wish it would have been nice, but hey, God's God. I'm not. And whatever I went through in all my life, all the pain, the trials, He has always been there with me. But I knew this at a very early age because I always felt something in my life since I was little. When my journey started, about maybe 5 years old. It starts. It's a book. It's a long one. We all have one. And I don't have, like I said, I don't think I have any special things to share. Maybe you guys all went through some of the stuff I've gone through. He caused me to drink. And I learned that one very well because my parents, I grew up in one of those kind of households where they love to party. Very stable parents, but still they love to party with all the family members, and so we grew up and I had access. Steven's death had sparked something in me, just like little Reuben. I didn't know them yet because my son was alive. I didn't care. I could care less about what was going on in the community because my son was alive. My children were fine. I guess there was, like I said, I wasn't living, I wasn't like all up to date. I wasn't even involved in community stuff until my son died. And that's kind of a sad truth, but it's not uncommon. Sometimes it takes something like this to happen to wake you up. To wake you up and to show that, you know what, there's something else. You're not gonna, one man told me he's a writer of a book. I don't know if you guys heard of some Calhoun, I forget his name, Jack Calhoun. It's a book called Hope Matters. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but he says our pain must never be wasted. So, okay, I've gone through a lot of pain and I'm going to use it. But it's going to be to help somebody else for their gain, not for me, for their gain. So if I can help anybody understand exactly what I went through, what your victims, families, their mothers. I saw a couple guys here when I was talking about mother. I think their eyes, when I was getting detailed, what your mothers are going through or have gone through, the ones that, not to judge, because I'm not here to do that, but I know you feel it because you guys have been doing this all week. And I didn't have any compassion at all for anybody. Anybody in my city that while I was doing my posters, staple gun in one hand, poster in one hand, boom, 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 all over the place, my Scotch tape roll to put it on the stores. I didn't care. Everybody looked like everybody here, like in this room, I can see it would fit the profile. You're the killer, I bet you are. I bet you're the one, and the one behind me in the line that's smirking, I bet you know, and you're laughing at me. Because I started getting out there a lot, and people were knowing there was a mom out there, I was alone. I was a loner for a while. There were no mothers. I didn't know anybody that had went through my thing, what I was going through. So I just started feeling it until finally I stopped doing that because I was getting nowhere. Nobody was coming forward. And I just started being an activist. That's what they call me. I didn't know I was doing that. I know I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I go into a courtroom with one of my son's friends, and I think he's on there. If he's not on there, he'll be in Sacramento tomorrow, because some of the families do not want their child's, or your victim's faces up there. They're not ready, or they're mad. They don't want it. They think it's for propaganda. I don't get nothing for this. We pay for this. Sometimes people, they print stuff for free because they know the cause is good. We don't get paid. It's not, it's to honor them, because their lives mattered. And if it takes those faces on there to open up eyes and touch hearts and to see that there's something that was done, there's a ripple effect. It's not just mama, it's not just mom, it's everyone. It's a lot of people. And you think it goes away? No. It only gets easier. Easier. That's it. Does that still hurt me? Yes. Do I cry? Yes, I do cry still. But I don't cry every day. I have peace now. Because I decided I wasn't going to let that grip me and keep me in this hell, that it feels like a hell. Because I was as a person, I'm a nice person. I didn't want to be like that and bitter and angry and fighting. My son was the only level-headed one that I could think of that in our time before he died that would tell us to lighten up. Adults, you guys are adults and you guys don't even know how to act right. Barbecue, and then you guys are over there drinking, and then you guys are doing whatever else more, and then you guys are the next day and you're fighting. Holes in the wall, things like that. He hated it. So yeah, why would I do that to my son? He helped me. God did the work, but he's planted the seed. He helped me get there. So it's going to be for him and for my Lord and for my children. Because I'm still raising kids. It's a scary time, but for them, all of them, because the Lord took me away from that stuff. He took it from me like that. But the devil got mad. I know he did. In the beginning, I used to give him too much credit. I don't give him no more credit. God gets the glory. But got mad because I changed. I was going to be damaged. I was going to bring damage to his work. I have, and I've done helped some people, and by sharing, here I am today. The ones that people say that they're hopeless, don't like go there. They don't deserve it. There's mothers that I've asked to come in, they don't want to come. Well, if I come, are you ready for me? Because I'm going to give it to them, straight up, just like that. And she has, and I go, oh brother, what are we going to be into today? Oh yeah, but you know what? After she let them have it, she wanted to go back again because something happened in her heart. She needed to express it. Who in the world do you think you are that you can just go and take somebody's life? That's how she came out like that, hard. I haven't brought her back in a while, but there's other mothers that they want, you know. But when you have a closeness and you have a peace and you have the Lord in your life, you have faith that you can go through any fire like I have. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot bigger fires and bigger furnaces than I've been through. But I'll tell you, from my pain and all those things that I've gone through in my life, that was the ultimate. The murder of my son, Stephen. This is my baby. I would do anything for him. When he was alive, I did. Dad wasn't the one. I'm the one that would go and claim back his things, like someone ripped him off, skateboard, bike, dirt bike, because he was spoiled. He got a lot of things. People would steal them, and he'd know who they were. And sometimes I'd go, let's go. I don't know who I thought I was. I just a little Mexican without these heels. You know, and who am I going to go against? And I would. I want my stuff back. Oh, no. And call me all these names and call me out, man, you guys, you know. I know, and he'd be there with me, a little guy, but I didn't always get everything back. They kept the dirt bike, got his skateboard back a few times, you know. I do that for my kids because that's what a mama does. That's what a mama does. God entrusted me to be the mother of my children, and I have an assignment. They're my assignment. Stephen was my assignment. He had his assignment, and he talked to me, and he encouraged me. That love in his eyes is what captured me, and the Lord, I go, wow. Well, I am so happy that I got to make him a nice dinner before he was killed. And I had that urge inside of me that I felt something 5 days before. I wanted to hug him so bad, and I didn't. And then I didn't see him all that week because of traveling. And he was gone. Years went on, and so now we're in 2005 after his death and everything, and I'm trying to move, still in a fog. It still feels like a fog. Still preaching to whoever will listen. Talking to KSBW, they were always calling me, and I'm the one, you know, call her. And so there I've been. Okay, I'm going to heal. This is my healing. It's part of my therapy. If I can get if they're going to use me, I'm going to use them. That was my mentality. That's my mentality. I use the media as a conduit to the community. I'm using this. The Lord will orchestrate it because this day, I mean, I've been invited to be here for a long time and many invitations since, I don't even know how long, 2012, Johnny? That long. Well, I finally made it here. So, you know, and I'm glad I did. I was tired because I have a lot of things to do tomorrow. But, you know, because of that, all these families that are going tomorrow, they're nervous. They're going to see their child's faces blown up at the Capitol. And this is an 11th year that we've gone. I was sharing with the other group, and I just tell everybody, when we only asked for one bus, to get one bus, they blessed us with two. 2 buses, that's big, that's 50, I mean, one bus is pretty expensive to rent, go and come. But it's not about the money, it's what he wants to do. So, because of that, I realized, after our pastor was killed a few weeks ago, I call him our pastor because it's in our community. Pastor Herb from Victory Outreach. I don't know if you guys heard about it, if you guys watch the news. But it's a big church, and I work with them closely. I mean, I grew up with everybody there. Guys have come out of prison, going back in the community, and so when that happened, it really gave me another boom, another punch. Like I felt, I just couldn't believe it. I like, what? I repented right away. Because I knew that my thoughts about quitting, taking it easy, canceling the trip, was not going to be no more. I didn't want to do it. I said, you know what? This is going on. It's crazy. It's never going to stop. Take me away, you know? Go another town. I said, I'm sorry, Lord. I've been rebellious. Forgive me of my sins. Forgive us of our sins, Lord. Salinas, Lord, forgive us. We have sinned against you. I don't remember what I told him, but I was sincere. And that moment, after that, after being at the next morning, going to prayer and going to the church and just go intercede, because our pastor's congregation needed it. They're hurting. The soldiers, his flock. I knew there was God. He says that He wants us to be available, to be willing, to change, to stop resisting Him. As another sister was sharing with me, just open yourself up. Let me go inside and take over and just maneuver. Be the navigator of the ship, and me be the mouthpiece. So that's why I believe we have the 2 buses, and all these doors are opening lately, because I finally realized, which I thought I realized before, that there's, even me, have some hang-ups, and I have to change, and we have to be united. We're supposed to love each other. And until you guys straighten up in Salinas, and I'm going to use you, you're going to be one of them that I'm going to use. That's just exactly what I heard him tell me. You're going to be a start in there. And people are going to wonder why you still can do this and why. And they're going to know that there is a God. There is no justice. Tomorrow we'll hear a lot about justice, justice. I want justice. Don't let those criminals out. They're going to be talking policies and all this stuff. People walking around with their signs. Your victims' families will be there, walking around just like me. When I get off that bus, better believe it, I'm going to be walking around. Not right away, but this is my boy. And you're going to see this. I don't know. Everybody gets their eyes. We get a lot of attention because we know how to do it. Salinas knows how to, we want to be. We're not going to go that far for nothing. And there's families that are going to be going to tables that I'll be on my bus. On our buses, there's 2 buses. They're going to be looking for help. How to, when they get there, they'll get there someday. But they're in their beginning process like I was, what I tell you about. They'll be looking for ways to, to find out, how do I get my killer? What do I do? How do I get a reward? And how do we, blah, blah, blah. How do I find out when the guy that sentenced and did it, when he's going to be released? Because I want to be able to make sure he don't get out ever. Things like that. I'm just giving you scenarios. You'll hear some testimonies. I'll hear testimonies, and I don't know if I'll say anything, but I have a chance at the pulpit. The pulpit. This is a pulpit. I get a pulpit all the time, everywhere I go. I call it the pulpit, on the stand, and I told you I'm going to be there. All of us are going to go. I go, before, if it rains, they're all worried about rain. I go, don't worry about rain. Every time there's raining and we have a big event, the Lord always opens up the clouds in Salinas. I'm not lying at all. You should see what He has done for us in Salinas. There's a lot of bad things that happen, but when we get down, mothers come together, woo, watch out. He stops everything, and you'll see it. And not just me, others have witnessed. Even the reporters are like, oh my gosh, it was just raining. And I said, what did I tell you? We were just talking, we were just praying right now. What happened? And all of a sudden, the clouds just split open, and the sun comes down, and it stops until we're done doing our circle, our prayer, our velas, all that. Testimonials, so yeah. God's with us. He's here right now. You believe that? He's with us all the time. He's with us, and no matter, even in the prison, and wherever you go, your trials, and you're on the yard. I know He's with me, because when Pastor got killed, I immediately thought about my pastor, and I had to call my pastors. Said, I love you guys. I love you both so much. You guys are my parents. My parents are gone now. My mom, just passed. And they're my spiritual parents, no matter what. Even my mom was here. My spiritual parents. And I love you guys. And what Pastor does for us He comes out with us to our things, like I say, our vigils, our memorials, we do our things in Salinas. Well, you probably heard about our mother's group, A Time for Grieving and Healing. It was birthed because of my pain. It's something I started because of Stephen. God did it, because I would have never thought of that. And we're recognized for our hearts. People, mayors, and you got a heart as big as an ocean. That's why, Debbie. Why do you do this? I don't know. Why do I do all this? But you got a heart as big as an ocean. I think I do. There's room enough in there still, but it breaks. It's been broken, and it still breaks for my city of Salinas. And we're gonna get there. And like the Lord said, you guys are gonna continue to be there if you don't straighten up. Who are the examples? Us.
What I want to say is that we are truly honored and blessed to have you here today. And it's taken some time, and like you said, it's happened on the time that it needed to happen on. And we wish we could do so much more. And what we want to do is we want to present you with a certificate from National Crime Victims' Rights Week, Straight, Resilience, and Justice, a certificate of appreciation to Debbie Aguilar. Yeah. All right. We got another one over here for you, too. This one says, we hereby present you the certificate for your tireless dedication of service, building trust, restoring hope, and giving a voice to those affected by crime. And we put the Phoenix House Foundation and Soledad logo on here.
Let everybody know, man, we're up here doing this song, not just for the sake of doing a song and being part of it, but being part of what it represents is for all the victims out there that we cause. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life. Looking back at my past, confronting those days at long last. Running from my problems was an easy task. I took it to a 40 ounce, a OE, 5 a day to be exact. You feel me? It wasn't easy coming up. Any shoes, having issues at the house. What to do? I'm lost, and I ain't got no role models. Listening to Too Short taught me how to holler. Gangster movies was always on a big screen. Coming up, seeing low riders looking clean. I want it all, so I try to act hard to gain acceptance, so I could be the hood star. I was deceived and taught that's the way of life. Dream big, go hard, gotta earn some stripes, but it wasn't in my heart, to say the least. Joined the game wearing red all the way down to my feet. I'm trying to be like Old Dog and Scarface, calling the shots, cause the world is mine, man. What can I say as I'm walking these streets with my head up high like a straight wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I took a hit of the joint as it was passed to me, never did it before, but I see my pops do it. Not to look like a sucker, I went ahead and took a drag. Little did I know it'd be a part of my path. Every day from then on was like a wake and bake. Any drug would do just to get through the day. I graduated from smoking dank to snorting that cocaine, wearing a mask just to hide all the pain. Deep inside I was miserable, a scared little boy. Alcohol consumption, never could fill the void. Always looking to please, just to find some acceptance. Anywhere I turned, I was getting rejected. I was bullied and picked on. damn. All of my life, nobody cared about the shame that I was feeling inside. Ain't got nobody to talk to and nowhere to turn. I just kept on seeking for some love in return. I cracked open the 40 water to numb the pain, just to run from my problems. That's what I did every day. Man, what can I say as I'm walking these streets with my head up high like a straight wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I don't wanna be a player no more. That's what I heard every day on the radio. But I was just a squirrel trying to get a nut. I see a girl without a man, then I say, what's up? Mac mode, that's what I had to do, man. Manipulation is a major part of the game. I played the part tough, and man, I did it well, with no regards for the feelings of a female. But now I'm locked up, and now I'm growing up. Looking back to the days and all the things I've done, I was a follower, a true definition. Treating women bad, seeking for the recognition. Going day to day, thinking I'm a player, ride. Only added to the loneliness I felt inside. But if they only knew I was needing love, I only acted up cause I couldn't get none. I ain't a player, come to think of it, I never was. I ain't related what I thought a pimp's life was. And in the end, I'm the one that slept play, cause now I'm locked in a pen for being a straight wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost my life for being just a wannabe. This song right here is dedicated to Jose Mendoza, who lost his life because of me for being a wannabe. Check it out. January 2nd, 2002, I took the life of a man that I had no right to. An innocent man, just trying to raise a family. His son's only 3, a reflection of his daddy. His wife's at home, waiting for his arrival. Every day's a blessing just to wake up beside him. He's a hard-working vaca, putting food on the table. Even working overtime so his family is stable. But then one day, there came a shotgun blast. It came out of nowhere, wasn't happenstance. What did he do to deserve it? Man, he didn't do nothing. He was minding his own, never causing no ruckus. And all for what? So I can prove that I'm down to get some so-called respect and put it down for the town. Man, that story's a joke, and now I see what it costs. I think about his family, how can they live with the loss? Man, I shattered their life, I know I scarred him for life. I pray for God's consolation, that he will hold him at night. To the world he is dead, but to his family alive. Cause of what I've done, he'll always be in mind. This song's for you, bro. I never thought that it would cost your life for me being a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost your life for me being a wannabe. I never thought that it would cost your life for me being a wannabe. Tim, you just a wannabe. Thank you.
You honor that family by how you live your life. That's the only thing you can do to make up for this. That's the message. I hope it's a gift I give you. Do the work you need to do. Then get out of here and run on a beach and open a refrigerator and decide what you want to eat, when you want to eat it. And realize how precious freedom is. That's what I want for you. I want you out and not hurting anybody else in the process. And I believe that's possible, because I believe in people.